I'm Jim Gunderman, and I'm a member of the American Martyr Stewardship Commission. We rightly celebrate an Independence Day in our country, but I'd like to introduce a new holiday. I'll call it Interdependence Day. When we walk our stewardship journey, none of us walk this journey alone. We help each other out. So let's summarize our stewardship journey to date. If we go back to the last two LinC sessions, what were the messages? In the first session, the message was, everyone is a steward. Now, a steward is someone who owns nothing but is responsible for the assets they've been given. Now, historically, a steward took care of the king's belongings while the king was away on business. And we are just like that steward. We are taking care of God's kingdom until he returns again. In John chapter 17, verse 10, it reads, these are Jesus' words. Jesus says, everything of mine is yours, and everything of yours is mine, and I have been glorified in them. So if Jesus is saying that everything of mine is yours, I think we should as well. Now, the second session's message was, we need to cultivate an attitude of generosity and gratitude. I would even go even farther. When I talk to friends, I even say generosity is almost part of our DNA. If we want to be complete as human beings, grow in our relationship with God, and help others to grow in theirs, we need to be generous people, recognizing that what we have isn't to be hoarded, but to be shared with others. Now, after our last LinC session, I went to Google just to search the words gratitude and generosity, and what I discovered was there's pages upon pages upon pages about this topic, and most of them deal with the benefits to mental health, the importance to your spiritual relationships, the importance to your relationships in your family. So if you want to be encouraged, I invite you to do the same. During this last session on stewardship, we're going to be talking about stewardship and the mission of the church. Now, as soon as I heard mission of the church, I was not completely sure what mission of the church meant. What is the mission of the church? So I went to my library, and I own one of these, the Catechism of the Catholic Church. Hard to believe, the Catholic Church has a complete guidebook of what we believe. It's actually very straightforward, and it had a section here, about the mission of the church. So I'm going to read to you what I learned. What is our mission? Here's our mission. The church is sent to announce, bear witness, make present, and spread the mystery of the communion of the Holy Trinity. So that's our mission. It's to first announce, bearing witness, and making present the kingdom of God. Simple as that. Reading a little further, I discovered a little bit more about stewardship and the mission. And this is the importance of gifts. We do not succeed in our mission as Christian stewards without recognizing the gifts that we've received, and those gifts are empowering us to succeed in that mission. And here's what our catechism once again says about that. The church, endowed with the gifts of her founder, receives the mission of proclaiming and establishing among all peoples the kingdom of Christ and of God. So in summary, the mission of the church is to continue Christ's work on earth. This is a stewardship way of life, marked by prayer, service to our neighbors, and generous sharing. I need to keep in mind, what would Jesus do every time I do something? Sometimes I step away from God. I know by striving to lead a stewardship way of life, I will naturally draw closer to Him. Make no mistake that stewardship is a personal journey. As we learn how to be a better sharer of God's gifts, we're going to struggle. Some days are going to be more difficult to others. We'll have some days that we'll go and say, wow, I did a great thing today. I really made a difference in somebody's life. I brought somebody closer to God. And then there'll be other days that we'll say, what am I doing? I'm a complete screw up. What am I doing? How can I do better? And I have, unfortunately, too many of those latter days than the first days. But what's the one thing that kind of keeps me on course? It's praying to God and then listening to Him answer my prayers so that I can remember that I'm not always the person that messes up. I do have oftentimes times where I'm sharing the gifts that I've been given, and I pray that I will just have more of those moments. So don't be discouraged when those days come and you're not feeling like you're giving the gifts that you've been given. Know that in prayer, God will give you the strength that you need to provide that gift on this next opportunity. So if you're looking for simple things to do, let's start at the American Martyrs community. So I'm going to invite you next Sunday when you come to Mass that you will introduce yourself to the neighbor in your pew. And not only introduce yourself, ask for their name as well. Greet them at the sign of peace by their name. Enthusiastically respond to all the responses in the Masses and join in the singing of the choir. This way we're all fully participating in the Mass. And when you leave Mass, enjoy the opportunity to get out of the parking lot really easy by staying a little bit longer. Go to the Welcome Center, go to the plaza, find a new friend. That's what I invite you to do. Find a new friend and share with them a little bit about yourself and learn a little bit about them. In doing these small things, you're carrying on the mission of God's church and the mission of American Martyrs Church. And I'll read to you once again the mission of American Martyrs Church, which is on our parish bulletin. It's a welcoming community helping one another to lead holy lives through Jesus Christ. Starting with those simple things, you can do that today. Thank you for joining this LinC stewardship journey. May God bless each one of us, our families, the American Martyrs community, and our greater community at large. And may He help us be better stewards of the gifts we've been given. Thank you.